Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Cybersecurity Certification course for Montford Middle School. My name is Mr. Stitt, and I'm going to be leading you through 4 modules today that's going to help prepare you to take the Cybersecurity Certification. Now, students, a few things that you're going to need. You're going to need a pencil or a pen, something to write with. You're also going to need your specialized worksheet that you're going to be filling in. These are going to be the notes that you can use for preparing yourself for the cybersecurity certification. And then teachers, what you're going to need is you're going to need to open up an additional tab for Kahoot, because you're going to be playing Kahoot at the end of each module to test the students on what they learned in that module. So again, my name is Mr. Stitt, and today we're going to learn about cybersecurity, how to keep yourself safe online. So make sure you have those materials ready to go, and we're going to jump right in to part 1. All right, guys and gals, so today, part 1 of the module and the course on cybersecurity is we got to learn how to protect your identity. Did you know that there's lots of threats out there on the internet today? You might think it's a fun place to kind of hang out with your friends and look at cool TikTok videos and be silly online with your buddies and play games, but there's a lot of danger when it comes to being online, and you have to know how to protect yourself and how to protect your identity from people who might be trying to steal it or do bad things to you. So let's talk about ways to protect yourself. So like I said, the first part of this course is all about protecting your identity. So let's find out how to do that. So what are our goals today? Well, our goals are to, number 1, describe the risks and identify ways to reduce these risks. You have to protect yourself when you're online, and there's lots of ways to do that, but you have to first identify what are some danger areas and then how to reduce your risks. Number 2, we're going to define privacy, and we're going to relate it to the term digital footprint. So just like you see here on the screen, footprints in the sand, did you know that you leave a unique set of digital footprints every time you log into your social media account? Every time you go to that gaming website that you like, you leave a digital footprint. And next, we're going to practice cyber safety techniques. So there are so many ways to protect yourself online, and we're going to explore those today. So first things first, let's talk about privacy and online predators. Privacy is what's known as the state of being free from unwanted or undue intrusion or disturbance in one's private life or affairs. It's freedom to be let alone. You have the right in our country to be left alone. You do not have to be bullied. You do not have to be vandalized. And even when you're online, you have the right to privacy. You should not be attacked by people like in this image who are out there to do wrong to you. So you have to be mindful that you deserve privacy, you have the right to privacy, but you also have the right to protect yourself from privacy, especially online. And who are you protecting yourself from? Well, you're protecting yourself from online predators. That's someone who intentionally targets people for harm using online chat rooms or social media. So they might not always look like this with a hoodie and a dark face. You never know who a cyber predator or online predator is going to be, but you have to know that they're out there and they're preying on people who are weak and people who are not ready to protect themselves. So let's move on. Now that we know all about privacy and online predators, what's a digital footprint or your dossier? Well, a digital footprint is information about you and what you do online. Every time you log into a site or anytime you play a game online, anytime you travel anywhere, the internet and certain companies, they keep track of where you've been. It leaves a digital footprint, kind of like you were on the beach and in the sand. You walk down the beach and there's a trail of footprints behind you. And what companies keep is what's called a dossier. Now, this is a detailed report, usually about a person's online activity. And you have to be careful about this because there have been so many occasions in this world where people, even 5-10 years ago, they said something online or they did something online, and people have brought it up in the court of law, or people have brought it up in terms of relationships, and they've put people's dossiers out there into the public, and people have gone to jail over what they've done online. People have been shamed in the public, all because of what's been kept private in their dossier. So you have to be mindful as a young person. Every time you go online, every time you make a click, every time you travel to a website, someone somewhere is recording that information in your digital online folder, also known as your dossier. So you have to be very careful. All right, guys, next, the biggest risk to your privacy is your social media. Every time you log into TikTok or Instagram, somebody is tracking, especially these companies like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok. They are monitoring and they're keeping track of what you've done. So what is social networking? Well, it's a site or it's an online community where people with like experiences or interests communicate with each other, and they share information and resources. And this possesses one of the greatest risks to your privacy, because you're putting all this information out there, right? You're taking videos of yourself, you're posting images. Well, what do you think an online predator is going to do with that information? They're going to take it and they're going to try to attack you with it. They might take your identity. They might try to seek you out in person instead of just online. They might, once you guys are older, they might try to get access to your bank account. So you need to be very mindful of what you're posting on social networking sites, because they're one of the easiest risks of attack from online predators. All right, guys, so how do you stay safe online? Let's talk about some tips. Number one, your screen name. Create a screen name instead of using your real name. So instead of using your actual name on your gaming sites or your actual name on your social networking sites, think about switching it up. Think about, so my name's Daniel Stitt. Instead of calling my site danielstitt.com, what if I called it Teacher DS 850? Because I'm from Tallahassee. So what if I called myself Teacher DS 850? So it's a little bit more subtle than just my full name. What about your profile picture? On your Instagram, on your Snapchat, on your TikTok, do you have your actual photo? Have you ever considered using an avatar? A picture that's like you? Places that you've been, objects that are meaningful to you, consider putting these as your profile picture instead of your actual face. What about your profile information, like your birthday, your phone number, and your home address? Don't ever put this information online that's public and viewable, because online predators are willing to take that information and abuse it. Contact information. Never list your phone number or your home address. And linking accounts. You need to be very careful about using one social media login as the login for another. So is your Facebook login the same as your Twitter or your Snapchat? Consider mixing it up. The more you can mix up your passwords and your login information, the more difficult it is for an online criminal to penetrate your accounts. Okay? Consider switching your browsing to incognito. You can do this so that companies can't track where you've been online. It limits what they can put into your online dossier. Delete old online accounts. So many of you are super young, so you don't have a lot of old online accounts, but as you get older, if you're no longer active on Twitter, consider deleting your Twitter account. If you're no longer active on TikTok, consider deleting that old information. That way someone can't bring it up or abuse it in a way that harms you in the present. Be wary of oversharing. Don't feel the social pressure to have to share every detail about your life or post every single picture. Those things can be abused by online predators. Last, consider using password keepers like Keeper Password Manager, Zoho, and Dashlane. These will help you keep your passwords safe and not forget what your passwords are. All right, guys, we're almost done. Let's talk about one more thing. Netiquette. Netiquette, these are rules for interacting politely online. So maybe you're not being attacked by an online predator, but maybe you are interacting with your friends online. Try to be respectful. Don't be too quick to take offense. Use emoticons and abbreviations to convey meaning instead of typing out mean and nasty words. Remember how I talked about your online dossier? Do you want somebody later in your life to pull up words and phrases that you typed in a chat box that are totally harsh and abusive? Or do you want just emoticons to express your feelings and emotions? So consider what you type in every single chat box. And protect other people's privacy. If you have a friend who might have told you their password, don't give that password out to others. That's poor etiquette. And last but not least, use appropriate language. You don't want your future employer to pull up your Instagram account 10 years from now and see how you are using cursing and profanity to express yourself. That's bad etiquette, and you don't want that coming back to bite you later. All right, guys, so we made it to the end of Module 1. Here's what we talked about. Number 1, we described the risks and we identified ways to reduce these risks online. We defined what privacy was and we related it to the term digital footprint. And last but not least, we practiced cyber safety techniques. Mr. Stitt gave you several examples of how to stay safe online, so I hope you'll utilize these in the future. So guys, before you go on to Module 2, here's what I want you to do. Teacher, please click on the link below to moderate your students' Kahoot game. Students, I want you to go to www.kahoot.it and I want you to log into the game with the specialized game code. So practice what we just learned and see how well you do. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.